The one who had much did not have too much. The one who had little did not have too little. This is a kettlebell. Cute, huh? And that's a kettlebell. And this one, this is a kettlebell. And this is a kettlebell. I got my first kettlebells probably 15 years or so ago. They were the new rage at that point, kind of the Russian Revolution of resistance training, and I guess they're still kind of considered a new thing. And kettlebells are really effective for some kinds of exercise, especially exercises that allow you to swing. And there's one thing kettlebells teach you, especially when you do those swinging exercise, and that's balance. Now, Christians aren't real good at talking about balance, especially in this day and age. It's not Jesus' fault. Because honestly, if you read the gospel, you see Jesus lived an incredibly balanced life. Yes, he spent enormous time serving others, but he also balanced that time with time in prayer and with private time with his disciples and friends. He also said things like, "The poor you will always have with you, you will not always have me." Explaining why it was all right for that woman to take that expensive perfume and anoint his feet, even as others were saying, oh, she should have sold that perfume and given the money to the poor. Well, Jesus was saying essentially that there needs to be a balance between giving to those in need and caring for one another. He also kind of made fun of people who couldn't decide which side of the coin they wanted their rabbis to fall on in terms of indulging in worldly pleasure. He said, "For John the Baptist came, neither eating nor drinking, and you said, he has a demon. The Son of Man comes eating and drinking, and you say, look, a glutton and a drunkard." Jesus understood balance, and he lived it. Even the Sabbath, when you think about the Scriptures, is about balance. It is a gift of God meant to restore balance to our lives. But in this day and age, with constant news coverage, constant cell phone usage, screen time of every kind, balance is not something we get. In this day and age, when every single job seems to take more than 40 hours, when you sometimes can't get through the week without neglecting, the yard work or the dishes or the cleaning or cooking at home, we don't get balance. Even in this day, when we push our athletic kids sometimes to specialize in one sport, we sometimes see that balance or lack of balance play out in their own bodies, as some muscles are overworked and some other muscles aren't worked enough. When as you look back to the old days, when we played everything, we tended to avoid those troubles. Balance has become elusive. And the thing is, when you don't have balance, it can really mess you up. Now, if I'm a little out of balance, okay, not really a big deal, right? I can still pretty much do what I need to do. Okay. No big stressor there. But if I'm a little more out of balance, well, I probably can still do what I need to do. All right, as long as I'm not being graded on style points, I guess I'm all right. But if I'm a little more out of balance, well, now that's going to be a bit of a struggle. Let's see. Oh, okay. There goes my microphone. Now, I have to be honest, things are starting to hurt. Okay, this side of my body, the back is starting to go, what are you doing? What are you doing? But I'm afraid that most of us, most of the time, feel like this kind of out of balance, and this kind of out of balance. Yes, it can cause some damage. And today in the lesson, Paul's talking about financial balance. He's talking, as he often does in his letters, about a situation in Jerusalem. You see, during this time, there was a famine in Palestine, and you could get food, but it was really expensive. And so Paul is encouraging the Gentile congregations, those who don't live near Palestine, to give to those in Jerusalem so they can buy food. And he's chiding, make no mistake, he's chiding a little bit here, the wealthy congregation in Corinth to match the generosity of the much less well-off congregation in Macedonia. Because part of Christian life is balancing care for oneself financially with giving generously. Okay, so how do we get to this balance thing, and how do we keep it? How do we live it? Well, we can't analyze everybody's life individually here, but I can give you the key. I can give you the key to maintaining balance, and that key is tending your spirit. And the first step in tending your spirit is living like you have one. I saw a mock headline the other day. It read, "Parents who regularly attended church twice a year shocked at child's sudden lack of faith." We live too often like we don't have a spirit, but ignoring that spirit leads us to imbalance. Finding balance means seeking quiet, doing things like reading, maybe grown-up coloring books, arts and crafts, yoga, maybe some not-so-quiet things like singing and dancing, things like gardening, walking in nature, really looking at things. It means turning off that cell phone for a whole, 20 minutes. It means getting off the computer. It means skipping one or two silly sitcoms. It means worship. It means reading scripture or devotional material. It can mean journaling or prayer, closing your eyes and praying for a friend who's in need, praying for someone who's struggling, praying for yourself, and then just keeping those eyes closed and listening. It means doing things that in a way might seem selfish, but they're really not. The odd thing about doing the selfish thing of tending to your spirit, that's the one thing that will make you unselfish. And it's the key to balancing out all those activities and getting through them, because slowing all of them down, we know it's easy to talk about, but it's hard to do. And your spirit's the only thing that's going to be able to tell you how to manage everything. Take some time this week and in the weeks ahead to do the things that will tend your spirit. 20 minutes a day, that's all you need to do. And you'll soon have a habit that will help you maintain balance in a world that's trying to knock you off your feet. Jesus lived balance. To serve Jesus as we want to serve Him, we need to seek balance too.